Imagine checking your portfolio on a random Tuesday morning and seeing it went up by $4,300. You didn't work overtime. You didn't sell a product. You didn't even pick a winning stock. In fact, you did absolutely nothing. The money just appeared. And here's the crazy part. That $4,300 is more than your last 2-week paycheck combined. Most people spend their entire lives thinking wealth is a straight line. That if you work 10% harder, you get 10% richer. But wealth doesn't grow in a line. It grows on a curve. For years, you'll feel like you're crawling through the mud, watching your balance move by inches. Then, suddenly, the math breaks. The numbers start jumping by thousands, then tens of thousands, without you changing a single habit. This isn't luck. It's the result of hitting 3 specific net worth milestones, where compounding shifts from painfully slow to overwhelmingly powerful. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what these 3 numbers are, the math that governs them, and why the hardest part of being wealthy is simply not quitting before you hit the bend in the curve. Why wealth isn't linear. Humans are biologically wired to think linearly. We understand that if we walk for an hour, we'll cover 3 miles. But wealth building follows the law of exponential growth. The formula for compound interest looks like this, where A is the final amount, P is the principal, and T is time. The secret sauce is that T. The time is an exponent. That means the growth is backloaded. If you invest $500 a month at an 8% return, year 5, you have approximately $36,000. It feels like nothing. Year 15, you have $173,000. It's getting interesting. Year 30, you have approximately $745,000. Look at that jump. Between year 25 and year 30, your wealth grew by nearly $270,000. You didn't work harder in those 5 years. The math simply reached its explosion phase. But to get to that vertical line, you have to pass through 3 distinct milestones that change your life in very different ways. 100K, the foundation unlock. Charlie Munger, the legendary investor, famously said, "The first $100,000 is a B, but you gotta do it." He wasn't exaggerating. The first $100,000 is the hardest money you will ever make because you are doing 99% of the work. At this stage, your contributions are the only thing moving the needle. If you have $10,000 and the market goes up 10%, you made $1,000. That's nice, but it doesn't change your life. But at $100,000, something psychological and mathematical unlocks. At an 8% average return, your 100K portfolio is now generating $8,000 a year on its own. If you're contributing $500 a month or $6,000 a year, your money is now officially earning more than you are contributing. This is the first time you see money making money that makes money. Timeline at $500 a month? Approximately 11 years. Timeline at $1,000 a month? Approximately 6 years. The reality check. $100,000 doesn't make you wealthy. You can't retire on it, and you shouldn't go buy a Porsche, but it makes you unstoppable. Once you hit 6 figures, you have proof that the system works. The hardest part is over because you've built the engine. Now you just have to let it run. 650K, the passive income paycheck. While 100K is the most famous milestone, $650,000 is the most underappreciated. This is what I call the career freedom milestone. At $650,000 invested, the math shifts from interesting to life-changing. An 8% return on $650K is roughly $52,000 a year. If you look at a more conservative 4% withdrawal rate, often used in the FIRE community, this portfolio generates $26,000 a year in passive income. That is over $2,100 a month in pure passive cash flow. For most people in the US, $2,100 a month covers the mortgage and the groceries. It doesn't mean you can quit working entirely, but it means you no longer have to work a job you hate just to survive. At $650K, money stops being a scoreboard and starts being a shield. This is where you can take the risky promotion, start the side business you've been dreaming about, or go part-time to spend time with your kids. The timeline at $1,500 a month. approximately 19 years. The timeline at $3,000 a month, approximately 14 years. At this milestone, market volatility feels different. A 10% crash means your screen shows a $65,000 loss. That would have ended a younger version of you. But now, you know that the $2,100 a month in dividends is still hitting your account. You have become a steward of the machine, not just a saver. $1 million, the psychological unlock. There is a reason the word millionaire carries so much weight. It's the third milestone, and it's where the identity shift happens. Mathematically, $1 million is a beast. At an 8% return, you're looking at $80,000 a year in growth. Think about that. Your portfolio is now likely earning more than the median household income in the United States. Your money is a full-time employee that earns more than most people do working 40 hours a week. But the real power of $1 million is the acceleration effect. To get from $0 to $100K might take you 10 years. To get from $650K to $1 million, adding that extra $350K might only take you 4 years. The milestones start coming faster and faster because the principal is so large that the market does all the heavy lifting. The identity shift. At $1 million, you stop thinking about how much I earn and start thinking about how I spend my time. You realize that money was never the goal, freedom was. At this stage, work becomes purely purposeful. You do it because you want to, not because the bills are due. You've crossed the finish line of the traditional financial race. Real-life options. Let's connect these numbers to your actual life, because a bigger bank account balance is useless if it doesn't change your Tuesday mornings. 100K equals the proof. You now have a financial floor. You'll never be broke again because you know exactly how to build a six-figure engine. 650K equals the pivot. This is coast fire. You can stop contributing to retirement entirely, and the 650K will likely grow to $1.3 million in less than a decade on autopilot. You can take the fun job that pays less. $1 million equals the design. You are the architect. You choose the projects, the people, and the pace. Look at this chart. The secret to wealth isn't finding a shortcut to the third milestone. The secret is having the grit to stay disciplined during milestone 1, when the green bar is so small you can barely see it. Don't quit during the flat part. Wealth building is an endurance sport. The math is guaranteed, but your psychology is the variable. Right now, you might be at $10,000 or $50,000. You might feel like you're throwing money into a black hole, but you have to remember, you are currently in the flat part of the curve. You are building the foundation. Every $100 you invest today is a brick in a structure that will eventually support your entire life. Don't compare your year 2 to someone else's year 20. Just focus on reaching the next milestone. Which milestone are you working toward right now? Are you grinding for that first 100K? Or are you closing in on that 650K freedom paycheck? Drop your number in the comments. Let's keep each other accountable, because the only thing that stands between you and that Tuesday morning magic is time and the refusal to quit. If you want to know the exact strategy to hit that first 100K faster, watch our video on retiring in 5 years. It breaks down the 5-year sprint to financial independence. I'll see you in the comments.